Hello, hello. This is Lisa. I just mispronounced my own name. Lisa from the Three of Skeins podcast. I have some shenanigans. I got inspired. You know what? I had already planned. Okay, this winter I want to do at least one shawl because I want to add some more shawls in general to my wardrobe. And then I saw this thing. Now, you guys know I was not a fan of the latest Stephen West mystery knit along, but I saw the Aurora Cabin shawl and I was sold. I loved everything about it. I loved the color play. I loved all the different stitches. I loved the textures. So I decided, you know what? I'm going to make this puppy. Now, Stephen West is doing a knit along. This is his Aurora Cabin shawl, and it's the pattern for the um, Hiberknitalong 2022. So you can definitely check out his website. I will link to it below. He has several ways for you to participate. You can buy a kit that's going to come with a pattern and a copy of his new book. You can get just the book and use your own yarn, or you can buy a single pattern. It's also available as an individual pattern and use stash yarn. So there are plenty of ways you can participate in this knit along if you want to. The knit along, the cast on date is December 26th, so the day after Christmas. So I am going to try to have my dofuku finished so that I can start on the day after Christmas or thereabouts. We'll see. So when I started thinking about this this shawl, I was like, what yarn am I going to use? And thinking about that got me thinking about, I don't know why this connection was made in my brain, but this is how my brain works. I remember there was this show that I used to love to watch. It was a decorate your house show. And this crew would come and bring no money. I mean, not a penny. And the beginning of every show would be the crew, the cast, and the homeowner running around the house or the apartment, rummaging through cabinets and under beds to find fabric, find furniture. They would repurpose whatever you already had. Half a can of paint, a paint sample. And I was like, sometimes you can just use what you already have, because one of the fun things about that show was that the homeowners were always happy with what happened, because what the show did was brought someone with design expertise and they applied it to stuff you had already picked. You bought it because you loved it. You may have not laid it out in the best way or not made the best use of it, but having that designer on hand showed you how to make the best use of the things you already had. So they always loved how the place turned out, and the place always looked really good. So I decided, inspired by that old show I loved, that I was only going to use yarn that was already in my stash to make this shawl. And this is the Aurora Cabin shawl. The other thing was, I also fell in love with Stephen West's color scheme. He actually did two samples, one in a cool color scheme that was also very nice, but there's something about this combination of colors that really, really worked for me. Now, because I was using stash yarn, I was not sure that I would be able to replicate that color scheme exactly, but because I'm using stash, I was like, okay, close enough will always be good enough. Or maybe I'll just come up with my own warm tone color scheme. So let me show you what I decided to go with. So this is basically the colors that Stephen West used in the warm color scheme. In my mind, I call this color scheme Cozy Cabin because that's what it makes me think of. Cozy Cabin. So the first thing I found in my stash was the deep brown. This is Wisdom Yarns Angora lace. It is a beauty. And look at that rich, deep chocolate brown. I was like, yes, that will do very nicely. It is merino wool, Angora, and with a bit of nylon. Then I had actually gotten this over the course of the wool walk. This is Chelsea Luxe, and it is a custom colorway for a shop called Grace and Pearl, and the colorway is called Grace and Pearl. But I thought this was a great beginning. Look at that. Yes, yes. So I noticed there was a golden color in there. So I was like, wait a minute, I have something like that. This is Marinated Yarns. It's called Lemon Ice. It's her Scrumptious HT. I could see it coming together. I was like, okay. This is Superwash Merino and Cashmere. Then I was like, okay, there's a light pink. I got this. Where were we? Yes, New Jersey Sheep and Wool. This is Yucca Yarns Highland Socks, and it's a tweed. Do I mind that it's a tweed? Absolutely not. I love how the colors are coming together, and it is very similar to the Cozy Cabin colorway. So my last color was actually the most difficult, and I actually had several candidates for it. I was thinking about going orangey, and I might still switch it. I don't know. But the color he used was actually a red. And this is the reddest I've got, and it plays red. And I was like, okay, that might work. This is a yarn from Three Bunnies Design. It's called Cranberry Bogs. It was a custom colorway that she did for my shop. We partnered together to do a New Jersey themed set of colorways. And I did not know that there is a huge cranberry industry here in New Jersey. So this is Cranberry Bogs. Let me show you his colorways, and these are mine. For me, that is close enough. I think it's going to produce a really beautiful shawl that gives the same kind of warm, cozy tones. Only, it'll be uniquely mine. What I did do was I took a picture of them in black and white just to make sure that there would be enough contrast. If I knew what I had done with my phone, I would upload that picture right quick, but there's enough contrast. Each one, there was enough difference in the picture. So that I don't have to worry about. And I think they will come together in an Aurora Cabin that will be just beautiful. So is anybody else thinking about joining the Hiberknitalong? If you are, what kind of colors are you using? I just want to tell you that, shop your stash first, because I didn't buy any of these yarns together. These all came at different times at different places. And I would never have thought to put these colors together in one project on my own. I'm going to just confess that right now. That's the magic that the designer brings. And this way, 5 very disparate skeins that I wouldn't have used together otherwise are going to be used and made into something beautiful that I can't wait to wear. All right, so think about it and let me know if you can imagine putting together your singletons into something amazing. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next time.